Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I wanted to go over the best build for the entire season. This build can be run at any level at any point and you will find success with it. The build can stun and kill all three champion types, has team utility through void weakening grenades, has insane ad clear due to echo of expulsion and volatile flow, and can either have great sustain or burst damage depending on the heavy weapon you choose. I promise you take this build into any endgame PvE content this season and you will succeed. And I can promise you that. Now, let's hop into the build. Alright, we're into the build portion of the video. We're going to first start with our class. Our class today is going to be a Voidwalker. For my grenade, I'm running the Vortex grenade. This is probably the best grenade in this class, so run it. I have Devour on. I think Devour is huge now because it helps keep yourself alive. And being able to keep yourself alive means more total time up and being able to use all of your abilities. I think Child of the Old Gods is situational. I have a build coming later in the month where we can really take advantage of this and really abuse the crap out of it. But I don't think it works in every situation. And then obviously Chaos Accelerant, the best part of this entire class. Being able to overcharge your void grenades and make them linger and deal more damage, and yeah. All kinds of just amazing things that Chaos Accelerant does. We have Echo of Expulsion on for void grenade, for any void ability. Once they die, they just explode, right? We have Echo of Remnants. This is not super great, to be honest. It's 2 extra seconds. I'm running this right now because we don't have... Where is it? This one, we don't have Echo of Instability. Once we get Echo of Instability, I will replace this with Echo of Remnants and take off all top flow. Because then this build works even without the season mostly, except for the Void Overload grenades, right? I think this is going to be a long-term, like, this will make Void ridiculous forever. And so I think taking off Echo of Remnants is worth it in the long run, because your grenade lasts long enough as is. It doesn't usually run out before you kill whatever you're trying to kill. So I don't think you necessarily need to have Echo of Remnants on. Lastly, obviously, Echo of Undermining. This allows our void grenades to weaken. Take into account this is a -20 to your discipline. So make sure you're building into that. Make sure you are aware of that. Make sure you cover up that discipline to make sure you are at 100. Alright, weapons are going to be Arbalist. Arbalist lets us do any barrier very effectively, even at highest levels. Linear fusions are still very good, even without particle deconstruction. And Arbalist is one of those examples of just a gun that was made ridiculous last season and is still going to be very good this entire season because it's guaranteed anti-barrier that's easy to use at no matter what level. Our primary is going to be whatever unstopped primary you want to run. Unless you get put in a anti-barrier overload strike, something like Glassway, then you can take off Pally, obviously, and run a overload or anti-barrier primary, or you can run an anti-barrier primary and run like Witherhoard or something to help control ads. Which for Glassway, I would probably recommend running like Vouchsafe, Witherhoard, and a Lasting Impression Rocket, and you would still run Void Overload nades. Because they're the most consistent overload this season outside of Div. Next up is our power weapons. Power weapons are your choice. You can either run a linear fusion or a rocket, depending on what you need. A linear fusion will let you deal more sustained DPS. So something like Arms Dealer this season. It'll help you in there. In something like, heck, even really Fallen Saber this season, because Fallen Saber is such a long boss fight. I think linear fusions are going to be more meta in there because it's a long boss fight. We also have new strikes, which I actually think both. One of them for sure, the one with Ala Cool, could be a good linear fusion strike depending on how we play it. But I actually think rockets are going to be meta for half the strikes, because there are a lot of immunity strikes, and you just want to get rid of the immunity phase and get rid of the boss so you can deal with the ads. And so I think the lasting impression rockets are going to have a big comeback this season because of it in GM level content. However, I think in raid level content, linears are going to be better than rockets unless it's super short damage phase. Unless we're talking like 15-20 second damage phases, then we'll go to rockets. I think for total sustained DPS, I think linears are better, especially sleeper. Heading into the helmet, we have our helmet on solar. It has a copy of Ashes to Assets to help give us our super back when our grenade does get those kills. We have a copy of Harmonic Siphon, so that way our Void primary will be generating those void, not void, those orbs of light for us to help give us our super and give us to let us take advantage of recuperation, which is here on the boots. And obviously a copy of Elemental Ordnance, so that way we can get those Void Elemental Wells. We use those Void Elemental Wells to first give us Well of Tenacity. Well of Tenacity will give us that new 50% damage reduction whenever you pick up those Void Elemental Wells. Also have a copy of Bolstering Detonation here on the Controverse Hold, and a Unstoppable Hand Cannon if you're on Hand Cannon. If you prefer pulses for Unstop, obviously you can run Unstoppable Pulse, and then a Recovery mod to help get my stats to 100 and 100. The exotic is obviously Controverse Hold. Controverse Hold helps give us our grenades back when we use it on a beefy target, or even use it to kill a whole bunch of targets. You're pretty much guaranteed to have your grenade when you need it to do whatever you need it to do. Our chest piece is on Arc. This is mostly for Seeking Wells. Seeking Wells will allow us to get our Elemental Wells when we are within 15-20 meters of them or so. This lets you not have to push up to them and lets you more frequently take advantage of what they can do. Also, our Taking Pen, the new Thermo Shock plating mod on the artifact. This gives you Arc and Solar Resist. Also, a Linear Fusion Reserves, because I'm currently on Linear Fusion. However, if you're on Rocket, I would put on a Rocket Reserves, because your heavy weapon is more important than your special weapon long term. Also have onto the boots now. The boots are on Solar. This is for Bountiful Wells and Recuperation. Bountiful Wells will give you an extra Void Elemental Well every time you spawn one. It will also, this will help you give yourself Well of Tenacity more often, and will guarantee yourself more energy when you pick up those Void Elemental Wells. Having a Linear Fusion Rifle Scalp on, because I'm currently on 2 Linear Fusions, and then a Discipline mod to make sure I am at 100-100. Lastly, our class item. Our class item is on Void. This has a Overload Grenades on it from the artifact. This will let us stun Overload champions whenever we need to, and help us get our grenade back when we do stun them, because of Controverse, when we deal damage to them, we'll get chunks of our grenade back. We have Perpetuation on to give us our class ability back, so that way we can sit in Healing Rifts, because Healing Rifts are fine, and Volatile Flow to give us volatile rounds for right now until we unlock the other fragment on the class, which I think will overtake Volatile Flow. And then you could go double Well of Tenacity. You could go with a different setup here and maybe move your Controverses to Stasis and take advantage of a grenade kickstart and put on Well of Tenacity here. And this build might be a little more efficient long term. That is it for the build. And now I will head into the conclusion for the video. To finish off the video, I have a few tips for you. Don't lock yourself into Pally. If you have a Void primary you like more, go for it. Funnel Web, Vouchsafe, or even Last Perdition can seriously work in this build. Heck, if you are in an Unstop Overload activity, you can run Wither Horde or Blinding GL. This build is flexible when it comes to weaponry as long as you have a Void primary. Volatile Flow will carry it. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone learned something. If you did, or if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. I will see everyone on Thursday for a brand new video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.
It's worth running. It's worth running, so it doesn't overtake Tether, which is the good thing. That's what we kind of wanted. We didn't want Tether being useless, and now hunters are useful. That's actually how you do it. Unless you're talking about being yeeted up there, which is still possible. I will be joining you for that. Final stretch. Everyone's mostly
I think it's a decent mix. I just play whatever. I don't usually play my types much, but I only play my types sometimes, so I want to or whatever.
We look at it.
Hunters more than
But from what I'm seeing, yeah, but usually I see it's mostly warlocks followed by hunter, then followed by titan. The active game hunter.